So we came to our, HVAC, sorry, plumbing class day 9, and regarding this NBC, usually we use NBC codes only, but it is we can follow IPC also. And when we were dealing with water supply sizing, okay, water supply sizing, we were using which NSPC, okay, we were using NSPC. What we do is that we will be dealing with that code itself only, but all these things it is not necessary that we have to take that particularly that NBC, because we are dealing with students, because this recorded videos will be there not only for NBC. Okay, people from different countries, they are coming and they are studying this. So because of that, as well as for your idea, if it is IPC or whatever it might be, it will be taken. If it is an Indian thing, will be taken most of the things from the NBC only. So for example, we have did pipe sizing, right? We have did pipe sizing, and we have taken the WSFU unit. That WSFU unit is already, it was taken from NBC only. Understood? But we have placed that in NSPC. Okay, that is the National Standard Plumbing Code only, we have kept it. For example, I will just share the NBC codes. Okay. You might be seeing it, and then for your betterment, I will show you. So this is the NSBC, National Building Code of India, okay, 2016. So in this, what is the thing is, we have different contents in which there are part 1, part 2, part 3, it goes different. And this is the NBC itself only. And part 1 have definition, administration is there, development control rules is there. Part 4 comes as fire and safety. Okay. Part 5 comes as building materials. Part 6 structural design is there. All this comes in NBC only. And in which part 7 is the construction management. Part 8 is the building services like lighting, electrical, air conditioning, okay, installation. All these things comes in building, as well as then for the relation of the plumbing system, it comes as part 9 only. So when we are trying to deal with a code, okay, when we are trying to deal with NSPC, National Standard Plumbing Code, if you are following that code is being taken from NBC itself only. You understood what I am saying? So all this water supply, drainage, solid waste and gas, all those things which comes under plumbing service is taken from NBC itself only. Okay, but when we are dealing with a code, particularly for plumbing, we could say that NSPC. Not only in NSPC, we can use directly from NBC also, we can use it from IPC also. And we have already found the water supply pipe sizing. We have seen 3 different methods like WSFU method, and we have seen loading unit method, we've seen Plumbo-Stat method, and I have already said that you can use that methods for finding out the section, okay, finding out the pipe sizes. That won't reject, okay, that won't reject, because we are following a rule, okay, in India itself. And with respect to NBC, WSFU, what we have taken, that fixture unit is directly taken from NBC only. For example, this plumbing service is page number, I think 612, it seems. 1 second. Okay, we are doing projects, so we know it, right? So the thing is, this is the National Building Code of India. This is the plumbing services, okay, and water supply, and regarding the WSFU and all, to make you known that we have taken the correct way for designing. Okay, now from here only I have just taken only that screenshot to show you what was the this thing water requirements, or the how much liter per day is being used. Okay, so you can say it is in the residence is not given here, other than residence only. But you can see here it is for domestic, it is 90 liter per day, and for flushing it is 45 liters per head. Okay, so total it will be 135. So we have taken 100 because it is already said here it is, we can take 100 when we are reading this. Okay, so with respect to this liter per day or liter per head only, we have already calculated the overhead tank capacity. Okay. Not only that, the WSFU also we have directly taken from this NBC only. Okay. And yesterday we have seen a problem regarding the water closets, how many flush or how many liters is being used by the flush. It's been already written here. You can see here. For water closet, the maximum flow rate is 6 liter per flush. Understood? When we are doing that, we will be getting the answer. And regarding this WSFU, we can see here water supply fixture units WSFU for different fixtures with minimum pipe size. This is from NBC only. Okay, this is from NBC only. You can see here bathtub. It is for a private application. WSFU is 4. We have taken 4, right? And for wash basin and for water closet, you can see we have taken the same WSFU only. So this WSFU only we have calculated and we have found the pipe size. And because I have already said that the minimum pipe size will be, you can see here, 15 mm. Okay. Minimum pipe size which is being given by the NBC is 15 mm. Okay, this 15 mm only we are also doing. Okay. So for example, all these things, okay, all these things we have taken from that NBC itself only. Okay. So we have just completed or we are just going with this water supply only. We haven't come into drainage. That's why I have just focused on this water supply. We can see that WSFU, this chart only we have taken. Water for ablution by that it is 1. Clothes washers it is 4. With respect to this WSFU only, we have found out the GPM. With that GPM only we have found out the pipe sizes. Okay. So all those things are we can just, or if you want, just we can just compare with the NBC and we can see what is the difference also. Okay. With this respect to NBC itself only, we are just moving forward, but it is not necessary that everything should be specified like NBC and all. You can take NS, you can take ASP also. You can take NSPC, which means National Standard Plumbing Code. All those things will be plucked from all these individual standards only. Okay. With that respect, we won't reject. Okay. So like so whatever we have done, it is properly. Okay. So we have to follow these things, minimum 15. So in practical sense, I have given this 15 mm pipe size. But in practical sense, the contractors won't give 15 mm. They will be directly given 20 mm only. Okay, as a safety factor. Okay. So in that case also, as the design, what it is said is it is minimum pipe size or for the individual pipe size or for the individual fixtures, we have to give a minimum pipe size of 15 mm. We can, as a design, we can give 15 mm also. That's correct. That is fine. Okay, totally fine. But in a practical sense, if we are as a consultant, if I am saying that okay, you have to give 15 mm only. Okay, if I say like that, they will give only 15 mm. But still, as a safety factor, we can give 20 mm, minimum 20 mm also. Okay. Nowadays, 15 mm is not giving in the as the minimum pipe size. As though 15 mm is required, still we give 20 mm as the minimum pipe size. Okay. So all these things are there in the NBC only. We can just, this is the NBC, chart. Okay. And you can see here, this is the rate of hot water flow. It is given here as, for kitchen sink it is 5 and wash basin it is 5. In some cases, in some American standard and sometimes instead of 5 we can take as 10 also. Okay, so if you don't want to take 5, if you don't want to take 10, you can take 5 itself, but the method of calculation will be same. Today we are going to deal with hot water flow only. So we will be dealing because mainly the hot water will be available for kitchen sink, wash basin and shower only. So this shower, it is given as 6.5, but in the market the rate of flow is more than 6.5. Okay, it can even if it is a rain shower, it can go up to 15 liter per minute. Okay, so all these things, as for a designing purpose, we can just follow this thing. Okay, but still with the different, depending upon the manufacturers and the type of showers and wash basins and like that, it may differ. Okay, so all those things we can just verify with this. Okay, not only that, what is my bottom line or what is the point that I am trying to say is that all those things will be taken from this NBC itself only. Okay, all those values and all those codes will be taken from NBC itself only. But as as a local code, you can name it as NSPC or or other IPC or something like that. Okay, for that particular place or something like that. But the designing, as a designing part, everything will be perfect only. Okay, otherwise we won't get approval. So one second. So I think it is clear for you because we have taken this only water supply, all these things we have taken the same values only. So there won't be any difference. Okay, and the minimum pipe size is this much only. Okay, so I think that is clear for you. So one second. So today we are going to deal with hot water system only. Okay, hot water system only. For that, I will just show you something else for your confusions. So what can we study from uh, hot water system? So today we are dealing with hot water system only. Okay, hot water system. We'll be studying about hot water system, and we'll be studying about the capacity. How much should be the capacity of the storage heaters? Okay, there are different types of heaters that we use in the hot water system, and it can be different systems will be there. We'll be finding out its capacity, tank capacity. We'll be finding out. We'll be finding out its heating capacity, how much kilowatt that we have to give. We'll be studying about insulation, how much thickness that we need to give. Okay, regarding that we'll be studying. And when we are trying to deal with this codes and standards, mainly it will be usually for the pipe sizing and all those things only, or to know how much amount of water or the normal maximum flow, how much, in order to know that we can use a standard. But using the formulas and finding out the answers, we have general formulas. For getting the values out of something, we can use standards and codes. Okay, just to make sure that it is safety. Okay, why these standards and codes are being generated? To make us that it is very safe. Okay, yeah, and not only that, the design will be proper. We'll be getting proper amount of water at proper pressure. Okay, without any wastage, with more efficiency. That's why we are using the standards and codes. Okay, basically or mainly for the safety purpose only. Okay, because that's the thing. And so I think that's clear for you. Okay, and one more second, please. And we have said about the how much should be the velocity. All those things are being taken from NBC itself only. Okay, the velocity should be 0.8 meter per second, or it should be less than 1 meter per second. It has been taken from NBC table itself only. Okay, and you should have a minimum pressure this much. All those things you will be getting it from NBC. Okay, but all those chart will be taken specifically from NBC and they'll be placing it in some other codes. Okay, but almost both will be same only. The NBC as general will be, which is not only focusing on plumbing, it will be focusing on many other areas also of a building. Okay, so like, see, I have already taught you about this thing only. So I'll share that once more. I'm coming back to my initial class. Okay, if you have to listen properly. Okay, so this I have already taken in the initial classes and all. Okay, all those things, minimum pipe, equivalent pipe diameters, and all those things. See, this is the water closet minimum pipe diameter has been shown here. With Christian, it is 15 mm. Wash basin 15 mm, ablution hose 15 mm, bathtub 20, shower 15, bidet 15, kitchen sink 15. So all these things are 15 only. That's what I have already shown you in the NBC. That's what I have. See, minimum pipe size 15, 15, 15. When it comes to the, uh, all those things, it will be 15 only. Okay. Water closet will be different depending upon the, type of, if it's a Christian or it's a valve, you have to use more pipe sizes. So there won't be much difference like this. It's just I have shown you only. Okay, and all these things I have shown you. Okay, this comes in a drain only. So okay, all these things I have shown you. Now coming to the, yeah, this was the pipe diameter we have already taken. Okay, this was the pipe diameter we have. So, anyways, today because I want you to that we are following the rule only, standard rule only, NBC only we are following. But in all the cases, it's not necessary that we have to follow that itself, like that code itself, because we can follow, ASP or NSPC, which means that the values will be taken out from NBC and it will be placed there only. Okay, but the code, general code, instead of NBC, National Building Code, it will be saying as National Standard Plumbing Code, like that. Okay, but the values won't be changing, okay, dramatically. That's what I meant. So today we are going to deal with hot water system only. Okay, hot water system. So I will share my screen regarding hot water system. So in a building, in a whatever building, we need hot water as well as cold water. It is mandatory, right? So it is mandatory. So when we are dealing with this hot water, we'll be having, mainly when we design it, there are different ways for, producing the heat for hot water. Mainly we'll be having a solar water heater, okay? And that solar water heater will be given distributed, individually to the, different fixtures. Or we, instead of solar water heater, we can use individual geysers or storage or storage heaters, okay? And it will be of different type. It can be storage one or instantaneous, geysers will be there. So that heater, instead of that heater, we'll be calling it as geysers only, GEYACRs, geysers. Not only that, we in usual, we have another one system for producing hot water is heat pump. Heat pump is there, not the heat pump that is in the HVAC. This is different heat pump. Okay, this is also working like an air conditioner only, and you can produce hot water from that heat pump system also. Okay, so heat pump system is there, solar water heater system is there, or small storage heaters, we can keep it inside our bathrooms. It can be a storage type or it can be a instantaneous one also. Okay, so and where and all we need this, hot water is that mainly we need in showers, wash basins. Okay, then where you need it in the kitchen sink. Okay, so basically in those areas only we will be having hot water. So when you are dealing with the hot water, we have pipe insulations. Not only that, when we are dealing with the pipe sizes, we can go to NBC or we can go to NSPC also. Okay, because both are same, and we can when we are trying to find out the size of the pipe of the hot water. For example, if for a wash basin, okay, for a wash basin, WSFU unit was 1. You just imagine if it was 1, okay, if it was 1 for fixture unit was 1 for the cold water supply. When the hot water is coming to that same point, you have to take the 75% of that fixture unit, which means that the WSFU for that wash basin will be 0.75 and the WSFU for the hot water will be 0.75. Okay, so 75% will be distributed equally. Okay, instead of 1, the WSFU will change to 0.75, and for hot water also it will be changed to 0.75, which means 75% of the fixture unit value. With respect to that only, that way only we will be sizing the hot water. Okay, mainly as a designer, we just aptly give minimum pipe size 20 mm. 15 mm also no issue, but as a safety rule or a safety thing from our side, we will be just giving 20 mm. Okay, that would be sufficient. Okay, so there is no much issue when giving a pipe's diameter 20 mm. Okay, now coming to the pipe insulation. Okay, as this water through the pipe, okay, as the water through the pipe, okay, is hot water, we want insulations. Okay, we want insulation. So what is the pipe what is the pipe material that we use for hot water? Do you have any idea? I have already taught you in the first or second class. Do you have any idea what should be the material normally? What type of material that we'll be using in plumbing? You can just chat also, via chat. Do you have any idea what is a material? What should be the normal material we'll be using for hot water? Yes, CPVC, correct. So normally we'll be using CPVC only, and for cold water we can use UPVC also. But nowadays both the hot water as well as cold water, we are just asking to give CPVC itself only, and UPVC also no issue. Okay, but normally we'll be giving CPVC pipes only. So because it can withstand to a high temperature also. Okay, and not only that, in some cases we have to give the insulation also for the hot water supply. We have to give insulations also, because it should not take any heat transfer. So we can give insulations. Okay, and in NBC it says that if it is more than the length is more than 100 feet, if the length is more than 100 feet or 30 meters, you have to give the recirculation pump. You have to give a recirculation pump. Why? Because we have to give a recirculation pump, because if always the water will be stored inside the pipe itself. Okay, there will be water inside the hot water pipe. So when we are because of that length, it is already staying inside the pipe itself if you are not using the water. So what happens, slowly sometimes the if heat transfer can take place, because we are keeping it for a long time. So when we open our tap, initially we won't get the hot water. After that water which is been stored in the pipe is been emptied, then only we'll be getting the hot water. So initially, if you are opening, we'll be getting cold water only, even though if you are opening the valve of the hot water supply. Okay, so in order not to happen that, if the length is more than, like it says that it's recommended that more than 100 feet, we have to give a recirculation pump. We have to give a recirculation pump, so we can maintain hot water continuously, or we can maintain hot water throughout that pipe. Okay, so insulation is important. Okay, so this is generally said. Okay, pipe insulation depending upon the insulation only. Boilers, storage tanks, calorifers, fires, chimneys, and hot water pipes lose their heat when exposed to outside air. Hence, they should be insulated. Okay, insulation material should be non-corrosive, non-toxic, moisture-resistant, rot and vermin proof, fire resistant, light, easy to apply, anti-weathering, durable, and in addition possess good insulation properties and low thermal conductivity. So insulation material could be fiberglass or rubber type insulation like Armaflex, which comes in the form of a tube and the pipe is pulled inside it. So you can be getting in the form of a tube and you can put the pipe inside that. Okay. Normally, the insulation material will be fiberglass or like a nitrile rubber, a rubber type insulation. You can call it as Armaflex like that. Okay, it's just a general thing only. And let's see a general thickness. Let's see a general thickness. How much thickness should be given if you're using a fiberglass material? The thickness of insulation to be supplied and installed for the various systems shall conform to the following table. First one, for conditioned air supply and return ductwork. Okay, you can give a 1.5 inch, fiberglass, thickness material. Okay, the thickness can be 1.5 mm or if 1.5 inch. If it's a refrigerant suction and liquid, because this is dealing with refrigerant piping, so you can have half inch. Condensate drain pipe, you can have half inch. Acoustic duct liner, you can have 1 inch. Okay, heat water pipes up to 1 inch diameter. So here we are dealing with heating water pipes. It can be anything. You can have 1 inch. Heating water pipes above 1 inch diameter, you can have 1.5 inch. And domestic hot water pipes, you can have 1 inch thickness. So for domestic hot water pipes, you can have 1 inch thickness as an insulation. For boiler and water heater, and you can have 2 inch. For boiler, breaching, and steel chimney, etc., you can have 2.5 inch thickness. Okay, these are the general insulation thicknesses. Okay, so electric water heater power. So electric water heater power means, like, this is what I was saying. Okay, this is the electric. Just imagine this is the electric water heater, and there will be a gauge like this to know the temperature. There will be a hot water supply, and there will be a drain valve as well as a pressure relief valve, because if some pressures are there, if over excess pressure, that has to be released off, otherwise it will blast. So you should have a pressure relief valve. Okay, then you will be having a thermostat to detect the temperature, and this is the hot water supply. And you can see here 3/4 of the total fixture units are used for cold water, and 3/4 of the total fixture units are used for hot water. That's what I was saying, that if the fixture unit of a 20 or if the fixture unit of a fixture, okay, is 1, just imagine if it's a 1. So when you are trying to find the pipe sizes, okay, it will be 3/4 of the total fixture unit. If it's a 1, you have to multiply, 3/4 means almost it will be 75%. Okay, so 0.75 will be the fixture unit for cold water, and 75.75 will be the fixture unit for hot water. With respect to that, you have to design it. Okay, anyway, minimum pipe size will be 15 mm, or as I say, if you can give 20 also, it's not an issue. Okay, so here they have given 1 inch pipe. Okay, 1 inch pipe, and here they have given 1 inch pipe. Okay, so this is the cold water. So this cold water will be going, and it will be going to somewhere else, and one connection will be given to the heater. Okay, so this water will be sometimes, for example, this is just an example only. Okay, this line, this cold water line will be coming from the overhead tank, and you will be having a valve here, and there will be a valve here also. If you don't want water to go inside, you can close this valve. So the water will be going to this area. And this is the inlet water flow. And the pipe diameter is increased. So this is 1 inch and this is 1 inch. And this cold water will be entering into the electric water heater. After it has been heated, you can see the hot water will be coming out. Okay, so mostly there should be a thermostat, a temperature reader should be there, a pressure relief valve should be there, and a drain valve should be there. Okay, and in order to find out the power, okay, the power of the or the capacity of this water heater, electric capacity of the or the electric power or the electric water heater power, in order to know that, this is the formula: SCH into kilogram into delta T divided by heating time into efficiency. Okay, we'll be doing a problem. So, for example, if SCH means SHC means specific heat capacity, it is a constant 4.2 kilojoule by kilogram Kelvin. Heating time or recovery period is 3 hours. Okay, that will be changing. Okay, depending upon the type. Okay, here we can give a normal 3. Okay, heating time, how much time it take to heat. For a recovery time, we can give 3 hours. Okay, the mass flow. The mass of water is 150 liter. Okay, so 150 liter for recovery heating time, we can give us 3 hours, and the temperature rise from 10 to 65. So normal is the normal temperature inside the heaters will be 60 degree. Okay, 60 degree is needed. Okay, so it can be 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. Okay. So the temperature has to be rise from 10 to 65 degrees Celsius, and the insulation efficiency is at 75 to 80%. So all this will be constant. Okay, temperature rise also will be constant. 10 to 65 is a normal one, and you can take efficiency 75 to 80%. So if I just substituting it, specific heat will be 4.2. It's amount of water. The mass of water will be 150 if you're taking 150 liters or 150 kilogram. And delta T would be, mostly it will be 55. Okay, and heating time is 3, and you have to multiply into 3600 for getting into seconds. Then efficiency you can use 75. So you'll be getting a 4.2 kilowatt. Okay, if the capacity is 150 liter, the capacity of the tank is 150 liter, and the heating time can take us 3 hours. The power required is 4.2 kilowatt power required. Okay, so electric powers are in the range of 1.5 to 0.4, 4 to 5, and 9 kilowatt. And the size of the electric water heater, the amount of water. Okay, the capacity of the water can be 50, 20, 30, 40, 50, 66, 80, 120 gallons. Okay, so 1 gallon is equal to 3.178 liters. Okay, so these are the normal. Okay, it can be differing also. Okay, the electric power will be differing. The size of the EWH also can be differing, little bit according to different brands also. Okay, so normally it will be same. Okay, so this is the electric water heater powers. Okay, now I will just dictate this. In general, electric water heaters are fully automatic and have a storage tank. Okay, we are talking about the electric water heater only. Okay, and one or more electric elements and operating and safety control. So mainly it will be in automatic. There will be a thermostat and a temperature sensor, which depending upon the required temperature, it will cut in and cut off. Okay, and it has electric elements for heating that particular water, and there will be different safety controls, like you have seen. Relief valves will be there. Okay, drain valves will be there, etc. And the heating elements are available in a variety of standard voltages and wattages to meet the specific requirements of the installation. So we have different standards of voltage and wattage depending upon our demand. The electric water heater are fitted with electrical resistance or heater with 1.5 kilowatt or 2.4 or 4 to 5 kilowatt and 9 kilowatt. They could be horizontal or vertical type. Okay, it can be horizontally kept or it can be vertically kept. Electric water heaters are insulated and protected by steel jacketing. Okay, it is protected by steel jacketing and are insulated also because it is hot, right? So electric water heater should have pressure temperature relief valve, which will relieve excess pressure. For high pressure electric water heater, the use of non-return valve is not recommended, because what happens is that if some case, if some, or a pressure is developed, there is a chance of, you know, you know, explosion of it. Okay. In this case, the pressure relief valve is connected to the nearest floor drain. If something happens, the valve will be, connected to the floor drain. Okay, so that the water can be drained off. Electric water heaters are controlled by thermostat, which will activate the electric heater automatically. Okay, so it will have a cut in and cut off. Okay, so if the temperature is less, it will cut in. The temperature is high, it will cut off. So available electric water heat sizes are 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 66, 80, and 120 gallons. These are the different ranges. Now, resistance heating element are there. Okay, so we can give heating element to heat the water. So it can kept in any way. Okay, it can be kept in the top or in the below or in the center like that. So usually the electric water heaters have a primary resistance heating element near the bottom, and possible a secondary element located within the upper quarter or the third of the tank. So it will be there, one will be the primary will be there in the bottom, and the secondary will be there in the, just above the upper quarter or the third of the tank. So minimum wattage ratings of two element heaters are based as follows. For the upper unit, 8 watt per liter of the tank capacity. For the lower unit, 5 watt per liter, okay, per liter, okay, of the tank capacity. For fast heating, 30, 40, 50 gallons, we take 26 watt per liter for each unit. For single one element heater, we take 26 watt each. So it can be 8 watt, 5 watt per liter like that. So if you want very fast heating, you can go to 26 watt per liter. So this is the resistance heating element locations. Okay, so you can keep here. So if you are keeping here, what happens is that the hot will be at the top, concentrated at the top. Here will be warm and cold at the bottom. So if you are keeping somewhere here, it will be evenly, distributed. So more even temperature throughout the cylinder as the flow is like this. So when we are keeping like this, it is found that more even temperature throughout the cylinder will be like this. And we can have like two things we can have. One is here as well as here. So hot will be there, warm will be there, cold will be there. One will be primary and another will be secondary. These are the heating element, okay, in which helps to heat the water. Now, this is the thing that we have already seen it. Okay, a recirculation pump will be there. It will be given back into the cylinder. A drain valve will be there. This is the storage tank. This is the cold water will be coming inside. This is the hot water will be going outside. Initial water will be 10 degrees Celsius, and the outside water will be 82 degrees Celsius. It doesn't mean that it should be 82. You can have a temperature sensor and controller in which 65 or 60 degrees Celsius would be fine. Okay, and there should be a pressure relief valve, a thermostat will be there, and a three-way valve strainer will be there. Three-way valve will be there and a strainer will be there. And this is the heating element. This can be electric heating or it can be from the boiler or somewhere. Okay, it can be steam also. Okay, the well-pumped three-way valve, if you want to bypass the water, you can bypass it. Okay, you can bypass it. Now, so hot water system, just I am giving an introduction. Just I have given already the introduction. Finally, we'll be doing a problem. Okay, by that problem, we can know about the, the total, water capacity that we need as well as the heating capacity that we need. Okay. Now, coming to the introduction, I am just dictating this because there is nothing much to explain this because we are dealing with hot water. Main focus is on how to find out as a design purpose, we need to know what will be the pipe diameter, that we can easily know it by using the WSFU method. And I have already said that WSFU method will be taking only the 75%, okay, 75% of the fixture unit, okay. And when coming to the hot water system, then we have to find out the heater, okay, heating capacity as well as the storage tank capacity, okay. Then depending upon that is the main criteria will be coming in the hot water system. And then it's another concern is that to give the recirculation pipe Okay, and these are the main thing. Okay, which comes in the hot water system, and then we have to do the installations. That is another one thing. So anyway, just I will detail this introduction. Hot water is needed for bathing, washing in domestic use. Higher temperature melt the sticky oil and grease from the human body, pot and pans, making the clean up easy. Bathing with hot water opens the body pores, washing dirt and sweat easily and give a sense of freshness. In other region at cold places, hot water is necessary for daily life. Okay. So hot water requirements. Where and all we need this hot water? That is one of the important questions. Okay. Hot water is used in kitchens and bathrooms in residential areas. It is also required for laundries and industrial kitchens and in building like hotels, hospitals, schools, hostels, industrial canteens, etc. So mainly we'll be focusing on hot water system. What should be our main aim? Where we are using in residential, mainly three areas we will be using. One will be in the wash basin, then will be in the shower, then will be in the kitchen sink. If there is some, if you are trying to use the hot water for the washing purpose, we can give one supply for the hot water also for washing the clothes. Okay, that is also needed. So now these all things we have already discussed only. The temperature of the hot water. So the design of hot water supply system. This is I have taken from the NBC only. Okay. If you have any doubt, I will just show you. The temperature of hot water. The design of hot water supply system and its appliance shall be based upon the following temperature in accordance with IS 755 standard. Okay, scalding 65 degrees shows different temperature ranges. Okay. For example, I will just show you from the NBC itself. Let's see. It's a hot water. Hot water. We can see here. It's already the scalding. It is 65 percentage, depending upon the storage. Okay, scalding it is 65 percentage. Sink 60. Hot bath 43 degrees Celsius as runoff. Use as 41 degrees Celsius. Warm bath, if you want warm bath, you can have 37 degrees Celsius. Tepid bath 29.5 degrees Celsius. So these are the different temperature, okay, in which you can use it. Okay, so and rate of hot water flow also given here for kitchen sink. The rate of flow is minimum is 5 liter per second. Sorry, 5 liter per minute. And wash basin 5, shower spray type 6.5. Then coming to the all these things I have taken and given here. Okay, so so yeah, this is the temperature of hot water. Okay, scalding 65, supply to the sink it should be 60 degree, and yeah, it's like that. Now, system of hot water supply. There are two types of there are two systems of hot water supply: the instantaneous system and the storage system. So there will be two, storage heaters or heaters. Normally, there are two types of heaters or two systems. One will be instantaneous system, and the other will be a storage system. So, as a designer, where to give storage and where to give instantaneous system, that we can see. In the instantaneous system, the water is heated at the moment it is needed. So that's why it is called as instantaneous. So if you want a hot water right now, you can use instantaneous system. So instantaneously you will be getting the hot water. You don't want to wait. So in this instantaneous system, the water is heated at the moment it is needed. Okay, at the moment it is needed in the sense, it's not like it will be coming like that. If you need hot water, at that time it will start and it will start to heat it. Okay, in the storage system, a tank full of hot water is maintained in readiness. So initially in storage system, always the hot water will be stored. So when you just try to open the valve, within seconds, you'll be getting the hot water in the storage system, because already the hot water will be always stored inside the this thing. But in the instantaneous thing, you just it will when you need it. Okay, when you need it, it will you heat. So depending upon one thing, instantaneous would be better. Depending upon the uh, depending upon the electric consumption. Okay, instantaneous will be better because it will work only when we need it. Okay, others in the storage system already, it will be automatically cutting and cut off when the temperature loses, and like that. So in storage system, a tank full of hot water is maintained in readiness. The instantaneous system is much more economical. Correct. So if the demand of the hot water is irregular and sporadic, so like if the hot water is not regular, or it is it is irregular, or it is periodic, better to keep a instantaneous system. So because when you need that thing, it will work, so that you can, it will be economical and you can reduce the wastage of electricity. But in the case if the hot water is likely to be needed at a frequent intervals, regularly if you need this, hot water, better to use the storage system only. Okay. So if the hot water is likely to be needed at frequent intervals at number of points throughout the day, the storage system is usually preferred. Okay. Now the rate of flow. Okay. Now the rate of flow, it is shown here as a different thing only. Rate of hot water flow is the rate of hot water flow of hot water depends upon the type of installation. So you can see here what they have said is the rate of flow of hot water depends upon the type of installation adopted for the provision of hot water. So if the demand is more, or if the demand of the kitchen sink and its thing is different, it will be different. Okay, with the storage type installation, the recommended minimum rate of flow of different types of fixtures are given in table 33. So this is the given. Bathtub, it is 22.5 liter per minute, kitchen sink 18, wash basin 7, shower 7. So in that case, we have seen 5 only. Now here it is shown as 18. Okay, 5.7.4. So it will be different, 5.7.4 only. So here it is given as with the storage type installation, the recommended maximum rates of flows on different types of fixtures are given in table 4. Now it has been reduced to this much. Okay, so it might be the minimum one. Okay, 5, 5, 5. So I have seen the showers even if we need something like 7 to 10. Okay, 7 to 10. A liter per minute, 6.5. They have written as 7. Okay. So if you are choosing NBC, if you are choosing 5 also, it's acceptable only. Okay, it is acceptable only, and all these things are taken from this itself only. Okay, but it is a minimum flow rate. Kitchen sink it is 5, wash basin 5, shower it is 6.5. If you are taking large values also, as a safety, you can just keep it that. Okay, and yeah, that's all about this thing, rate of hot water. Now in case of instantaneous type, so here we were dealing with the rate of hot water depending upon the storage type installation. If it is an instantaneous type, in case of instantaneous type of installation, the rate of flow depends upon the size of the unit. So it will differ. Okay, it will differ according to the size of the unit. For domestic use, 2 main sizes are in general. One is a sink type of heater having a rate of 4.54. So you can see here. So it is 4.54, which coming closer to 5. Okay, liter per minute, and the bath type heat having a rate of 13.6 liters per minute. Okay, if you are using instantaneous type, you have to follow this one. Okay, the rate will be 16.6 liters. Both the types give the water up to the temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, so normally that will be the temperature. Okay, now yeah, that will be the temperature. Okay, so now hot water storage capacity, this is all we have just seen right now. Okay, the size of the storage vessel is governed by the maximum short time demand of the domestic or industrial premises. Depending on the local condition, this shall be 50 to 75 liters, which means that the hot water storage capacity depends upon the demand of the water. Okay, demand of the domestic or domestic water purposes. Okay, So depending on the local conditions, this shall be 50 to 75 liters at 60 degrees Celsius in the dwelling with a bathtub, and 25 liters at 60 degrees Celsius for a shower, or a tap for a bucket supply. So here it says that how much liters is being used. Okay, 50 to 75 liters at 60 degrees Celsius in a dwelling with a bathtub, and 25 liters. Dwelling means usual place where we live. Okay, it can be a residence or apartments like that. And 25 liters at 60 degrees Celsius for showers, or a tap for bucket supply. Then the capacity of the storage vessel shall not be less than, okay, now it is being said that says that the capacity of the storage vessel shall not be less than 20% in the excess of the required maximum short time demand. So which says that the capacity of the storage vessel should not be or shall not be less than 20% of its excess required demand. Okay, in largest, okay, so mainly that is we have already studied about the hot water capacity only. Now we will be dealing with how to find out the hot water capacity, tank capacity. Okay, so we'll be finding out the what's a hot capacity by the use by a problem. Okay, a question. So this is the first question, and I think you have to just come with me. Okay, and there are two questions. You can any one questions we can just deal with this first question. Two questions are similar, but the type of these things are different. That's all. The numbers are different. Okay, so find the heater and the storage tank size. So basically we need these two only. Okay, the heater as well as the storage tank size of a hot water for an apartment having the following fixtures. Okay, find the heater and storage tank size for hot water for an apartment having the following fixture. So here we are trying to deal with ASP code only. ASP code only. We are trying to find out the the heater capacities. Okay, that doesn't make much sense. Like much sense in the sense that doesn't make any much difference. Okay, in the capacity with this two different codes also. Let's see. Find the heater and storage tank size for hot water for an apartment having 60 lavatories, 30 bathtubs, 30 showers, 60 sinks, and 50 laundry tubs. So these are the different fixtures, and you have to find out what is the storage tank capacity that you need for this apartment, which is having 60 lavatories, 30 bathtubs, 30 showers, 60 kitchen sinks, and 15 laundry tubs. And not only storage tank size, you have to find out the heater capacity also. How much kilowatt? Okay, so how you will be finding out this is that for finding out the storage tank capacity, first we need to know the flow through fixtures, how much gallons per hour. Okay, so here we have already in NBC, we have already, if you know NBC, you can take from NBC. Okay, we can take, it is a kitchen sink, wash basin, shower is being given. You can take this liter per minute only. Okay, this is given in liter per minute only. So here we have to convert it into gallons per hour. Okay, gallons per hour. So that is the way that we are going to find out the answer. Okay, and let me see. Now we are going to deal to find out the hot water by the help of ASP only. Okay, American Society of Plumbing Engineers. By that code only we are going to find out the hot water capacity. Okay, so this is the question. This is the question. So yeah. So find the heater and the storage tank capacity size of hot water for an apartment having the following. So this was the thing, right? 60 lavatories, 30 bathtubs, 30 showers, 60 sinks, and 50 laundry tubs. So from the table 14.6, you can take from NBC as well as you can take, if you want to take from NBC, you can go and take from NBC and convert that into GPA, gallons per hour, and you can give that value here. Or directly it will be given in this, table. Okay, this is the this table is the hot water demand per fixture for various buildings. Okay, so various buildings are given: apartments, gymnasiums, hospitals, hotels, industrial plants, office buildings, dwellings, schools. Okay, and these are the different fixtures given: lavatory, private public, bathtubs, dishwashers, food basin, kitchen sink, showers, lead baths, arm baths, like that. So mainly we need hot water for these things only, right? Uh, Bathtubs and showers and wash basins and sink, right? So here they have asked that you have to find out the capacity for the apartments only. So different fixture or different GPH hot water GPH values are given here. Okay, for lavatory it is 2, bathtub it is 20, basin it is 3, like kitchen sink is 10. So let's see. For lavatory, what is the flow per fixture? What is the maximum flow rate? It is in GPH, okay, gallons per hour. It is given in GPH, gallons per hour only. GPH of water per fixture at 60 degrees Celsius. So for lavatory it is 2, correct? For apartment building it is 2. So you have to write 2. Next, bathtubs. What is the GPH for bathtubs? It is 20. So if you are using hospitals, it would be 20, and this will be different. Okay, and bathtubs it is 20. So write that 20. Showers, how much it will be the GPH, gallons per hour? Showers, how much? It is 30. Okay, showers it is 30. Now give 30. Kitchen sinks, how much? Kitchen sink it is 10 for apartments. Give that 10. Then laundry tubs. Where is laundry tubs? Yeah, laundry stationary tubs is 20. So give that. So number of fixtures. Here the only thing that you need to know is what is the flow rate through that, or what is the flow rate to that particular fixture. So here it is 2, 20, 30, 10, 20, goes like that. So how much will be the hot water demand for 60 lavatories? Will be 60 into 2. This is 120. 30 into 20, 600. 30 into 30, 900. 30 into 10, sorry, 60 into 10, 600. 15 into 20, 300. So total maximum demand, okay, it is 2520 GPH, which means 2520 gallons per hour. So total maximum demand only, which means if all these are working in a single time, you need 2520 GPM. You understood what I'm saying? So all the 60 lavatories and 30 bathtubs and 30 showers and 60 kitchen sinks and 15 laundry tubs are working at a time, you need this much, 2520 gallons per hour. Okay, that is a total maximum demand. Total maximum demand only. So we know that this, this is not practical, correct? This is not practical in the sense this won't happen. Usually this won't happen. So all those things won't be working simultaneously, right? So there's so we have to so we have to know about a probable maximum demand. So probable maximum demand we have to know. So TMD means if all the fixtures are being used at the same time, and this does not happen practically, that we know it. All won't be working at the same time. So we have to know about the probable maximum demand. So probable maximum demand, you have to multiply this total maximum demand into this factor, demand factor. Okay, you have to multiply with this demand factor, then you will be getting the probable maximum demand. So this demand factor, you could get it from this table itself. Okay, you can see here demand factor. Demand factor and storage capacity factor is also given. So demand factor for apartments it is 0.3 and the storage capacity factor is 1.25. So demand factor, you have to multiply with demand factor. So you know that TMD, correct? And demand factor also you know it is 0.3. So from that you will be getting probable maximum demand. So in order to know the storage tank capacity, you have to multiply this PMD, probable maximum demand, into storage factor. Okay, so storage factor also will be getting from this same 1.25 is the storage factor. So multiply with storage factor, you will be getting the you know, the storage tank capacity. Storage tank capacity. So we will be getting how much liter tank or how much gallon tank should be needed. So let's move forward with this question. Total maximum demand we got as 2,520. So for you have to find PMD 2,520 into DF is what? Demand factor. Demand factor is how much? 0.3, right? 0.3. Demand factor is 0.3. So multiply with 0.3. You will be getting 2520 into 0.3 is 756 gallons per hour. So you got PMD. So in order to find the storage tank capacity, you have to multiply this PMD into storage factor. Storage factor how much? 1.25. So multiply with 1.25, you'll be getting 945 gallons. So the tank capacity or the heater tank capacity for this particular question, which is having 60 lavatories, 30 bathtubs, 30 showers, 60 kitchen sinks, and 15 laundry tubs, you need 945 gallon capacity. Okay, storage tank. So you can see water tank or a tank, you need 946 gallons. Now, in order to find out the heater capacity, okay, you have a formula. You just write it down. Okay, Q is equal to water heater capacity. If you want to write, you can write it. Just we have seen before itself, right? I have found just before itself. We have seen it. So this is the way to find out the power, okay, or the water heater capacity. Or I will show you the another formula. In easy formula is same thing only. MCP delta T we have already seen somewhere, I think so. MCP delta T divided by time into efficiency. Same thing only. MCP, or instead of kilogram, it is written as mass flow rate only. MCP delta T divided by time into efficiency. By using this formula, same formula only. MCP, mass flow rate, okay? MCP, which means specific heat only. SCH. M means specific heat only. Sorry, M means mass flow or the amount or the kilogram, and CP is the specific heat, and delta T is the temperature difference, and time and efficiency. So can you find the answer for this? CP is equal to 4.2. Just note it down. CP equal to 4.2 kilojoule divided by kilogram degree Celsius. Delta T you can write as let it go from 15 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. From 15 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. Here we have seen the temperature, it is going from 10 to 65, right? So for this particular question, the temperature rise, let it be 15 to 60. 15 to 60. Let it be 15 to 60. So the temperature difference will be 45, correct? 15 to 60. Temperature difference will be 45. So CP, so formula is MCP delta T divided by time into efficiency, in which M you already know it, right? It is it is 756 gallons. Okay, it is 756 gallons only. That is the mass flow, gallons per hour. So what you have to do is that you have to, the formula is MCP delta T, right? The formula is MCP delta T. Sorry. Okay. So MCP delta T. CP you already know it. It is 4.2. Delta T now you know it. It is from 15 to 60. So the difference will be 45. And the efficiency you can take as 75%. You can divide by 0.75. You need to know what is the what else you need. You want only the mass flow rate. Mass flow, it is already given 756 gallons per hour. You have to convert that gallons per hour to liter per second or kilogram per second. Okay. So 756 gallons per hour. You know, if you convert it into liter per second or kilogram per second, what you will do? You know, 1 gallon is equal to 3.785 liters. So 3.785 is equal to, it will be 2861.46 liters. Okay, so that you have to liter per hour only. Okay, 2861.46 liter per hour. Okay, that you have to convert it into seconds. You have to convert liter per seconds. So in order to convert liter per seconds, how much it will be? Divided by 60 into 60, right? Divided by 60 into 60. 0.794 liter per second, or liter, instead of liter you can write kilogram per second. Both are same, 0.794 kilogram per second. So you got M, you have to multiply with Cp, right? MCP delta T, right? Cp how much? You know, it is 4.2. 4.2, it's a constant, kilojoule per kilogram degree Celsius. Into delta T, how much? How much is delta T? It will be going from 15 degrees Celsius to it will be going from 15 to 60. So what will be the difference? 45, right? 45, right? So multiply with 45 MCP delta T. So divide by time into efficiency. Time is already got, mass by time only, which means that you know, 0.794 liter by second only. That by second is included in time only. Okay. So divided by efficiency, how much? You can take as 75.75. So you will be getting, you will be getting 200 kilowatt. So 200 kilowatt is the you know, heater capacity. Okay, so 200 kilowatt is the capacity. So you got the heater capacity as well as you got the storage tank capacity, 945 gallons, and the heater is 200 kilowatt. Okay, heater is 200 kilowatt. So this is the way to find out the, you know, answer. Okay, this is the way to find out the, you know, storage water tank capacity. Okay, storage water tank heater capacity, as well as the storage water tank capacity, as well as the heater capacity. You could get it from this equation. So I think you know, I think you have understood this. Is there anything else? And one more thing, I have already said that you need a recirculation thing, right? If the, so it is said that this recirculation, if it is used generally in buildings for more than 4-story in height. Okay, so hot water recirculation system. So it is used generally in buildings for more than 4 stories in height, or this you have to keep it in mind. If used if length of hot water piping exceeds 10 feet, okay, in length measured from the hot water heater to the furthest fixture. Okay, so when can we give this hot water recirculation system? If the length is exceeding 10 feet in length, and if it is generally building more than 4 stories in height. So there are different types of systems to give the hot water. Okay, you can give any one system: up feed system, down feed system, combination of up feed and down feed. Let's see what is that. It's just the, you know, way of giving the hot water system, recirculation system only. Okay, so so upfeed system hot water, like how it is, means the hot water will be going there. It is the heater, and from the heater hot water will be going, and there are 3 different valves. It will be supplied individually to the different fixtures, and from there, you know, water will be circulated. You can see here there will be a non-return valve. You can see from this connection the water will be recirculated. You can see here, and it will be recirculated and it will be connected, and it will be given back to the heater. Okay, so it will be given back to the heater. So this here you will be giving water, then one line will be taken individually from the out and it will be given back to the main. Okay, main line, and that main line is going back to the uh, water heater. So this circulation will be, it will be like in a closed loop. Okay, then that is called as upfeed system. Upfeed, it is going upfeed. Okay, this is the hot water supply, this is the hot water return. Okay, this is hot water supply, this is hot water return. Okay, now downfeed system, this is a little bit all are similarly little bit a change. Okay, so you can see here water will be given to the water heater, and from there the water will be going to the individual fixtures. From there, from the end it will be taken and it will be given to a recirculation pump, and then it will be given back to the heater. Okay, so this is the downfeed system. Now the combination of both upfeed and downfeed, let's see what is that. So there's a recirculation pump, it is going to the heater. From there it is subdivided, it is from there it is going there. At the end of this again it will be going here. Okay, it will be coming back here also, it will be going there, it will be coming back. All these lines will be joined here and it will be recirculated. This is both the upfeed and the downfeed. Okay, this is downfeed and this is upfeed and this is downfeed, like that. Okay, this is the combination. You can use any combination that you need. Okay, depending upon the site conditions. So we have studied about hot water system, and the main thing that we need to know is that to take from any cord is that the maximum flow rate. Okay, it will be depending. You can take it from NBC or you can take it from any other cords also, but there won't be any much difference in it. Why? Because depending upon different fixtures it will change. Okay, as I already said that usually it will be 7 liters per minute, but it can go more than 7 liters also. If you are using rain showers, it may go even up to 50 liters per minute. So as a common practice, you can take 7 or 6 from wherever you want. Depending upon that, you can size the heater. Okay, size the heater to know, then you can find out the capacity of it. Then depending upon other things, it is that we are choosing only. Do you want an instantaneous type, or do you want an storage type, or do you want solar heater, or all these things we are choosing only. Okay, then comes the recirculation, and when to do the recirculation and all comes the next thing. So that's all about the hot water system. I haven't sent yesterday's link, it seems. So today, both I will send you today's. Okay. So is there any doubt regarding today's topic? Is there any doubt? Hot water system, sizing of hot water. Is there any doubt? So if there is no doubt, means we can wind up. Okay. So let's. So tomorrow there won't be class. The next class is on Monday. Okay. So let's go through the link if you want. Okay, to study again. So thank you. I think there is no doubt, it seems. So thank you. Thank you. See you on Monday. Okay. Happy weekend. Thank you.